Hi, my name is Tatiane Hilgemberg. I am a professor at the Federal University of Roraima, Brazil, and I'm going to present my paper, Abject Body and Disability, the Power of Social Media. Since my early years as a researcher, the representation of the different party, more specifically athletes with disabilities in the media, has always been present in my studies. It is important to say that in Brazil, the normal body is conceptualized as productive, heterosexual, strong, and non-disabled. People with disabilities are stigmatized because they deviate from what Miyashiro describes as normality standards. These standards are unwritten rules of what is considered usual in a society. In general, normality standards are related to ordinary and acceptable behavior, and for that, exclude people with disabilities because they do not fit into a societal category. Individuals such as disabled people who do not follow the expected norms regarding appearance or behavior are treated different, and so because of that, they are stigmatized. It has been well documented that sport plays a key role in the construction of Brazil's cultural identity. Sport has long been associated with a masculine ideal body. This concept has become central to the spectacularization process. The ideal athletic body is strong and capable and without disabilities and damages. Images and ideals associated with this body and its attributes are strength, ability, resistance, and speed. Hagervas asserts that people with disabilities are identified, judged, and represented first through their bodies, and so they are seen as imperfect, incomplete, and unsuitable. In sports, anyone who does not fit into the description of the ideal athletic body is marginalized or treated as other. So the disabled body is moved to the objections. Their materiality and existence are threatened. Elizabeth Gross asserts that the object is the recognition of impossible, but necessary transcendence of the subject's corporality and the pure defining elements of its uncontrollable materiality. The theory of objection is associated primarily with the work of Julia Kristeva, and the object constitutes a threat to life, to identity, to order. Although this concept has some distinction in feminist literature, for example, the work of Judith Butler, and has played a significant role in some sociological studies of the body, the concept of object and objection has had little impact on disability studies. Women and disability are cultural signifiers for the body, so we can understand that they represent a double oppression, being woman and disabled. However, disability is the least explored intersection of multiple identity discourse in feminist studies. Judith Butler, at her work, Bodies That Matter, on the discursive limits of sex, does not discuss disability, but gender and sex. And the abject domains that she delineates is produced by certain highlight gender regulatory schemes. Since she understands as abject all bodies that do not fit the norms of social life, so we can say that disabled bodies are also part of the abject corporalities that goes against social order. What I'm presenting today is a work in progress. Since gender is the reference in the discourse of objection, and as Bill Hughes states, no matter how hard one tries to put it to work for disability studies, it always feels like a tool invented for another purpose. So I would like to suggest and to highlight the need for more rigorous critical scrutiny in order to understand how the idea of object dialogues with disability. We need more research that goes deeper in that. But returning to our specifically to our study, we can say that in the last 30 years, studies of the coverage of international competitions in sport-specific newspapers and sports pages of daily newspapers from all over the world conclude that the news articles and photographs portraying female athletes, particularly when they participate in masculinized sports, are fewer in both quantity and quality. Similar inequalities are also seen with the portrayal of athletes with disabilities in the sporting media. Female athletes are either invisible or portrayed as being less important, which does little to advance their visibility in sports space, and this is particularly marked if they are also disabled. However, the media landscape is changing. Today, athletes can control their own media images via social media. Unlike the mainstream media, Instagram, for example, gives researchers the opportunity to study how disabled female athletes, as in our study, document their own Paralympic experience via hashtags and visual imagery. One example of this is Camille Rodrigues, a Brazilian female lower limb amputee swimmer that received 3 gold and 1 bronze medal at the 2015 Toronto Pan American Games. She is also known as a dancer and a model, as we can see in this photograph. Camille controls her own images via her Instagram account, resulting in a marked difference in how she depicts herself, defying the idea of the object body. As we can see here, the photos that she posts on Instagram. She controls which photos she is going to post and how she is going to present herself. According to Alice and Gauguin, social media allow people with disabilities to value their identity and even influence traditional media agenda by offering representation and interpretation from a disability perspective. And the cyberspace is an important space for people with disabilities since it makes possible to criticize stereotypes and allow individuals to produce their own content. As we can see in these images, Camille is represented here in several other traditional media that she's part of. For example, she posted this picture at her Instagram, but it's a Playboy photograph that she posts too. So she also participates in as a dancer in some Brazilian television programs and video clips as one of the singers that you may know is Anita in Brazil. So social media enables athletes to counteract how they are being portrayed in the mass media and give them the capability to take control over their self-representation and express aspects of their identity that they perceive to be the most salient. Given that, it seems natural that one could self-present outside traditional norms. So as I said before, this is a work in progress, so there's still much to do. I am open to suggestions, critics, and ideas that will improve my research. This is my email address. Thank you very much.